Hi guys! So today I will be talking about how our Earth is how it is today. So it's called The Great Lesson, but I'm going to tell you all four of them. These lessons are not all the same. This is just one that I've heard. There are different, but nobody knows how. But here's a story I have learned. So, our universe started with the Big Bang. It was pitch dark, cold. There was nothing, no stars, no light, no galaxy, just pitch black and cold. Then suddenly there was an explosion, and all these different particles made light. But it was still cold. Then there were all these rocks and minerals. They all added up and added up and added up until there was a sun, the center of our universe, that created this all. And then there are now planets, and one of them is Earth, the sun's beautiful daughter. But the Earth was very cold, so many volcanoes, and it had never, ever rained. It was hot and it was cold, and it was hot and it was cold, and nothing could live on it. But then one day, there was a storm that lasted on for nearly hundreds of thousands of years. But every time a raindrop tried to hit the surface, before it could hit, it disappeared. And it tried again and again and again. And then one day, a drop hit the surface and evaporated. Then another one, and another, and another, and another, until the Earth's surface has cooled. Then all the hot air went up, and the cold air pushed it back down. And the hot air went up, and the cold went down, and on and on and on, until it kept raining and raining and raining, until we had a sea that was mainly more than what we have today. It is mainly more than our land, but it was very hot. But then, one day, when the ocean was finally cool, there was one tiny little creature. One tiny, tiny, tiny little creature. And then another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And these tiny little creatures kept eating and eating and eating all these little tiny little particles inside the ocean. And they ate, and there was more and more, and they got bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, until we got new life forms. We got kind of not really fish, but we did not have any land-like creatures until one day when one creature finally made himself to the land. And over the years, he grew legs. Then there was more of it, and more of it, and more of it, and more of it. And the first creatures that were ever on the earth are now extinct today. They have been extinct for more than 1 million years. But these creatures are now what we call reptiles. These reptiles, and there were also amphibians. These amphibians and reptiles roamed the land and the ocean. The ocean and the land now had these creatures. And then, as we know it, there was more reptiles and more amphibians. Then we got mammals. These mammals, instead of having eggs, they had no eggs. And these creatures, there were 3 types of creatures: amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. And now, over the thousands of years, we grew a new type of species of reptiles: dinosaurs. Dinosaurs roamed the planet for nearly 2,000 years, until one day we think a meteor had hit the planet and destroyed all the dinosaurs ever we know today. But there were still some creatures remaining, and they made more stuff, like new creatures until the first man was created. And these men were early human. These early human were not smart. They did not know how to talk. All they knew how to do was hunt. So they hunted and hunted and hunted. And finally, they grew smarter. They created new things, and they learned how to speak. And then, after several of the years, we finally grew carriages. We finally got smarter, and we used clothes. We used fur as clothes. And we figured out new ways to get to eat. Over the past several years, we have created buildings, and this is our new generation. We have buildings, cars. We also have farms, houses to live in, and all the stuff we have today. And that is our story of the first and all of the great lessons. Thanks, guys.